What's up, guys? Mr. STEM here. It's been a while since I recorded a video. Been getting a little bit lazy, also buried under with work. Online learning is tough. But here we go. We're back out of necessity. Sort of I found the Waterloo, the place of defeat here for Integrated Math 1, is looking like it might be slope. So we're going to go ahead and take a look at slope today. I'm going to try to make a video breaking it down as well as I can, and then also talking about some of the common mistakes here. So I tell you what, let's just jump straight into the demonstrations. All right, so we've got this line, right? And we want to find what the slope of that is. Okay, so what are we going to do? We're going to employ the triangle method. Now, I made this for class here. And you can see that the triangle method, you draw a right triangle, and be careful, it has to be a right triangle, right? You can see that right 90-degree angle right there. In order to count the change in y, right here, the vertical change of the line and the horizontal change of the line, right? So here's the regular line. We're like, okay, how do we measure the slope of this thing? What do we do? And the answer turns out to be we can draw a triangle right here. The change right here, the delta y, that triangle, the change in y, and the change in x. And then you can see we can kind of count those up here. There's various ways to count, but then we can list the slope as a fraction here, 2 over 1 in this case. Okay, so let's try it out here. So, okay, we've got our line, and we need to draw a triangle on there. So let's grab a nice color off of our whiteboard.fi. Thank you to Whiteboard for making such a great product. And let's see. Okay, so when we're looking to draw a triangle, we want to make sure that we select the right points on the line to draw that triangle from. Now, we want to choose a point like this, right? So you can see that we have our grid here, and there's these grid intersections. We want to choose a point where the grid intersection also includes a line intersection, right? So this is good. We want something like this. Something like this right here, right, where we have our line going through, is not so good, right? That's why we put it in red, because the red line is not going through a grid intersection. So you can see right here, I circled that point in green. Let me go back to green right here. I circled that point in green, and that is where a grid intersection and a line intersection are all happening. Now, there's some points we probably want to avoid, like there and there and there. But this one also looks good, right? We have that grid intersection, and we have the line intersecting with the grid intersection. Okay, so we'll pick that one, and we'll draw up a triangle here. Okay, and okay. Now, counting this is a pretty simple matter. It's just going to be 3 and then 2. Okay. But our slope is going to be, now here we have to make sure to put the y. It's delta y over delta x. And this is some poor penmanship here, but it's all good. Delta y over delta x, which means that that is equal to 3 over, no, let's not mess that up. That is a commonly made error. That is 2 over 3, right? So we take our vertical change, our horizontal change is the denominator. Okay, let's do another one. All right, now here is another line, and this one we can see it has a negative slope. Now, people are always asking me, how do you tell when the slope's negative, right? So one way is just to observe, okay, this is a positive slope, this is a negative slope. Positive slope, negative slope. However, there's another way as well. Now, when we're taking the slope, we're always moving from left to right, right? So we're going across the screen this way, kind of scanning from left to right. Okay, so let's go from left to right here. Let's look for some places where we might be able to draw that line. Let's grab a new color here. We'll go for a blue this time. Okay, so this could work, but I'm going to keep going. This one, that's a skip. This one looks good here. So, okay, let's start drawing our triangle here. And let's make sure we not go too far. We want to end our triangle right here. So here we go. Let's draw that triangle in like that and then down, right? So, okay, here we go. We went over 1 and we went down 2. So I'm going to make that a -2 since as I went over to the right, I also went down. Okay. So there we go. Our slope m equals -2 over 1. Right? Okay, let's keep going. Let's do one more, and we'll talk about some of those common mistakes. All right, so let's see. Again, let's pick out a new color here. Go for purple. And I'm going to draw, okay, so I'm going to identify, all right, this is a good spot. Okay, good. So we can start the triangle there. So let's put a little dot there. Skip that one, skip that one, skip that one. You know what? We could use this one, but let's skip it too. All right, skip, skip, skip. Okay, this one's good as well. So let's draw the max triangle here, this big triangle here with our purple marker here. Oh, and we're getting a little off track. All right, there we go. Okay, let's count this one. Now let's count this one carefully, right? So we want to start the count here where the triangle starts at 0, and then this is 1, and this one's 2, and 3, and 4, and 5, and 6, and 7, and 8. Okay, so the overall change in x is 8. And now this one you can see as we move from left to right, we're going up. So this one would be a +2. So m is going to be equals 2 over 8. All right. Now, of course, we want to simplify that result. So we want to divide both the top and bottom by 2, and that's going to equal 1 over 4. Now, when I'm grading assessments, 1 over 4 is a better answer. You will still be accurate when you say 2 over 8, but IXL is not so forgiving. You must have this reduced form in here when you're doing your IXL. Okay, so let's see. Let's talk common mistakes here that I often see. Here's a common mistake. One thing would be drawing the triangle in the wrong location. All right, so let's see. Let's make sure that's organized. Drawing the triangle in the wrong locations, right? So again, you want to look for these. You don't want to draw your triangle like this. Don't draw this triangle right here, right? Don't draw that triangle because then you're trying to estimate, and that's not what you want to do, especially on this one where you have an abundance of places where you can actually draw it. So look for those intersections and draw your triangle that way. All right, that is a common mistake. What is another common mistake? Well, probably the most common mistake is missing the negative. I think that most people, they understand what a negative slope is and where it comes from, but yet they just kind of forget about it, right? So don't forget about the negative. Okay, what are some other mistakes? Probably the last common mistake is switching x and y numbers, right? So for instance, and this one is probably not a good example for that one, but for this one, they might put 4 over 1. So let's go ahead and grab ourselves a red color to indicate an incorrect situation here. This does not equal 4 over 1, right? So that is the common mistake as well. People putting the x value on top, y value on bottom. Okay, so there we go. Drawing the triangle in wrong locations, missing the negative, switching the x and y numbers. Now, it's kind of like, it's a lot easier to do it on whiteboard, but unfortunately, the assessments are not on whiteboard. If you need that, maybe we can actually do a whiteboard assessment. But on these, like, you know, on some of these practice problems that I made using Desmos, you can see, like, you can still do it. It's a little bit harder because it's a little bit smaller, right? So, you know, if you need to go into full screen to like really count those up. Maybe you can figure out a way to kind of like take a screenshot of that and use a marker to sort of mark it up or something. Or you can kind of make your own whiteboard, right, by clicking that plus button and then using the grid and then using the line tool here, and you could kind of try to figure out how to put that on there. So there's that, and then obviously on IXL it's going to look even different as well. So some challenges still remain for you as we try to navigate this crazy slope world. Okay, so thanks for watching and good luck.